All right, so today I'm going to show you guys how to do this really incredible radial design project. And it looks really fun. It's really cool. The students that I've done this with in the past really impressed me, and I'm sure you guys will do the same. So last year was the first year that I did the radial design project, and it was so fun. I decided I need to do it again. So this year I'm going to have you guys work on it in the classroom while I am out. So what you'll notice with all of these examples is that it's just really simple. It's one name that's repeated into a circle pattern 8 times. Okay, it's pretty cool, right? All right, so let me show you how this project works. Drake, could you hand me those scissors, please, on that table? And then you can leave. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so when you're working with a radial design, a design that works all the way into a circle, it's important that you're working with a perfect square or a perfect circle. So I'll show you guys how I would like for you to start this project. So you're going to need 2 pieces of paper. The first piece of paper, you're going to fold diagonally like this. And if you cut off this extra piece, then it'll be a perfect square. So go ahead, cut off that extra piece. Okay, so then now you have a perfect square, okay? And you're just going to simply fold, so it's folded in half one way. Now we're going to fold it in half another way. That's going to give us 4 pieces to our design. Fold it in half this way. And then fold it in half this way. And if you're able to do that, you should have a circle that has 8 perfect triangles all the way around it. And all you have to do is cut out one of these 8 triangles. So you're going to cut out just one of these 8 pieces, and that's the piece that you're going to write your name on. Okay. Now, since you have all of these extra ones, these will come in really handy if you make a mistake or you need another, one second, my phone's ringing. I'm going to pause this quick. All right, so I'm back. And one thing that's really important, it's really important that when you fold this, make sure that your 8 triangles are located into a circle so that every single triangle is coming to the center. Because if you fold it wrong, it's going to throw everything off on your final copy. And I don't want you to end up with something that you're not really happy with. So then you're going to cut out one of the little triangles. So I have my little triangle here, and you're going to write your name on it. So if you remember back to the examples on my phone, you'll notice that everyone's name is colored in and the background is black, and it makes it look really cool. It creates a really fun contrast. And so when you create your name design, it's important that you make your letters big and bubbly enough of them, okay? So you can do that a couple of different ways. You could take a pencil and just write your name on your piece of paper. So my name's Cassie. So C-A-S-S-I-E. Okay, you could just write it with a pencil, and then you can take a Sharpie marker and go around what you have already written, and then just erase your pencil. That's the easiest way that I can find to do this. But if you can find an easier way to do it, go for it. One thing that I think is important, I think it's important to extend your letters all the way to the very top and the very bottom of your triangle, because then it's going to create a fun little design or pattern when you're done that works all the way in a radial pattern. It'll be fun to color in, and it'll turn out cool. So make sure you're extending your design all the way to the top and to the bottom of your page. Okay, so there's my design, and that's what I'm going to use to trace all the way around on my final copy paper. So remember when we first started, I had you guys start out with this piece of paper. Well, what I would like for you to do, this piece of paper, there we go, that's how it fits in there, is we need to make the second piece of paper that you guys had, because I said to grab 2, we have to make the second piece of paper a perfect square. So remember, to make it a perfect square, you just fold it in half diagonally, cut off the extra, okay. And we have to make sure this square has 8 perfect triangles. So I'm going to fold it a couple more times. And then we should have the moment of truth. The moment of truth is when you have 8 spaces and you can take the name design that you created and you can fit it on your paper like that. And when you do this, you're going to, so I'm going to make it really easy. I'm going to let you guys trace your name design, okay? So you can see it through the paper and you're going to trace it. The important thing, and we're going to trace it in this one, then we'll have to flip it. Oh, that's not right. We'll have to flip it like this to trace it on that one. Then we'll have to trace it on that one. We'll have to trace it on that one. We'll keep going in a circle. And this is where it gets a little tricky. The important thing is that all the way around, you should start with a C in the middle, or start with your first letter, and then you should move to your A and then your S, S, I, E. So you're going to move from the beginning of your name in the center of your circle, and then it's going to fade out to the outer side of your circle. So to do this, this is where it gets a little tricky. So if you just turn your little triangle over, let's trace the back side of our name, because in every other piece of our design, our name is going to be mirrored. So it's going to be backwards. Okay, so and I know it's weird right now, but I promise it's going to turn out so cool. I need to get a sharper or a better Sharpie marker for when I trace my design, but there we go. Okay, so I've got my little triangle, and it has my name on both sides of the piece of paper. So I have a new Sharpie marker, and I'm just going to start tracing it. So I'm going to put my name underneath the very first triangle. And if you have a hard time, which you shouldn't, because it's pretty easy if you're using a Sharpie marker, but if you do have a hard time seeing this, I want to show you a little trick. If you have a window, you can put it up to a window and it makes it super duper easy to see. So just to let you know. Okay, so in the very first piece of my design, I've got my C and my A. And this is not difficult, it's not challenging because all I'm doing is tracing my design. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's my name. And then remember how I said in the second triangle, this triangle back here, we're going to have to use the reversed image of our name because the triangle doesn't fit on that piece. So then you're going to tip it upside down, put it underneath like that, and you're just going to trace your design. All right, and this part, so as soon as I finish this little piece of my name, I'm going to pause the video. I'll continue all the way around, and then I will show you what it looks like when it's done. All right, so now I'm finished and it looks really, really cool. There are a couple little places that didn't really get colored in nice, like this little edge in my A doesn't meet up to this little edge, so you can kind of alter that or fix up your design, any little mistakes that you see if you have to. But you'll notice that so for example, when I traced my C all the way around my design, I didn't draw a line that divides the C. I just continued it on. So that way I can color that entire shape and it'll look really cool. Same thing with the A's and the S's. I did make a couple of mistakes where I did draw the line. So for example, down here on the E's, I did draw a line that divides the two E's on that one. I didn't on this one. So I don't know which one I like better. I'm just going to leave it for now. And then you'll see what we get to do next. So that's turned out pretty cool, right? And it takes a lot of time and it's really confusing to get your design down, but once you get it, it looks really nice. So the next thing we're going to do is color it in. And for this, so last year, I'll show you the examples one more time. So last year, I gave my students choice. I gave them the choice to color the background in with colored pencil or with Sharpie. But now looking at all of my designs, I personally think I should have just made everyone use Sharpie because the ones that are done with Sharpie look more interesting, they look darker and deeper, and they just look more impressive. So I know it takes a long time, and I know Sharpies are hard for some of you guys to get used to using, but I really want you to give it a whirl. Just try. So On the background of your design, I want you to color everything that's not a letter of your name black, and then we'll go in and color the letters of your name with color. And you can color them any colors you want. You just have to make sure that it's a radial pattern. So for example, if you do this C yellow, you need to do the C's all the way around yellow. If you do this A purple, you need to do all the purple or all of the A's purple all the way around your design. So just make sure you kind of keep that in mind, because that is what a radial design is. Okay, so I'm going to pause this. I'm going to color the background of my design purple, and then I will unpause it and show you what it looks like. Or I don't know what I just said. I'm going to color the background of my design in with a Sharpie marker, and then I'll unpause it. You guys have to be quiet, please. All right, so as you can see, I'm coloring the whole entire back in with Sharpie marker. Just be careful. Make sure you get rid of all of those little white spaces, because the blacker you get the background, the cleaner it's going to look and the easier it's going to be to color it in. And just to keep you kind of updated on how long this is taking me, so far the video is about 16 minutes and I had it paused for about 15 minutes. So this has taken me, a professional, a half hour to complete. So I don't expect to get this far on day one of this project. So day one would probably just be tracing your name. And then day two, you could be coloring in the background and maybe starting to add some colored pencil. So don't forget that this is actually taking me a long time, even though I'm just pausing the video. So I'm going to pause it again and finish my black. All right, so I finished coloring the whole entire background of mine in with Sharpie, and just a little reminder, make sure you're coloring on top of something. So I just use this little sketchbook to color on top of, because I don't want the Sharpie to get on the table. So just be sure you're not getting the Sharpie on the table, and you're being careful about coloring your paper only, because this really thin paper definitely bleeds through, and I want you to be careful. So let's get started on coloring in our designs. Drake, could you please get me some colored pencils? Do you know where any colored pencils are? Drake. Sure. Drake has been working on a guy he wants to show you. Go ahead, Drake, show him. Wow, doesn't he look so good? Look at him. All right, and then he disappeared. I think he's going to get me some colored pencils, maybe. Colored pencils. Here are some. All right, so get your little guy out of, oh yeah, he wants to show you. So there is the real Barbie. He